Welcome back, friends. Let's revise breech. Let's solve some MCQs. Commonest cause of breech. Options are prematurity, hydrocephalus, placenta previa, and polyhydramnios. If you look at four of them, all can cause breech presentation, but the question asked is commonest cause of breech, and thus the answer is prematurity. All of the following are associated with breech at full term except placenta previa, fetal malformation, uterine anomaly, and cornual implantation of placenta. Now, one by one if we go, cornual implantation of placenta, yes, it can lead to. Uterine anomaly is a known cause. Fetal malformations like hydrocephalus can lead to breech presentation. But placenta accreta is not known as cause of breech presentation. So the correct answer is placenta accreta. Best method to deliver arms in breech. One is Lossett's, Smellie-Witt, Pinard's, and any of the above. Now, Smellie-Witt, we have seen that Maurice Smellie-Witt was a method to deliver the aftercoming head of the breech. So that is surely not the method. Then Lossett's maneuver or method is used for delivering the arms. Now what is this method? If the arms are extended or around the face, there is a difficulty to deliver the breech. The shoulders may get stuck. So in that case, a logic is used that usually in the pelvis, the anterior portion is only the pubic symphysis and posteriorly the sacrum is there, which is 7 cm. Now, in comparison with the anterior shoulder, posterior shoulder is always at the lower level. So, if breech is stuck at the shoulder level and the arms are extended, then what do? We hold the back of the baby, cover the baby with some clean sheet and rotate the baby through 180 degrees so that anterior shoulder becomes posterior and posterior shoulder becomes anterior. And because posterior shoulder was actually at lower level than anterior shoulder, now the shoulder lies below the pubic symphysis and we deliver that arm. It is easy to deliver that arm. And again now we rotate the baby back through 180 degrees Celsius again, and now it is very easy to deliver the anterior shoulder, the original anterior shoulder. This maneuver is called as Lossett's maneuver. Pinard's P for popliteal fossa. Remember this. So Pinard's is used in frank breech to deliver the extended leg. In that case, if buttocks are delivered but the legs are extended and there is no, it's very difficult to flex the limbs at the knee, then in that case we put a hand inside, 2 fingers are put in popliteal fossa and we cause flexion at the knee joint along with abduction. This movement releases that limb and then the limb gets flexed at knee joint. We hold the ankle and deliver the complete limb. Similar on this other side and the other limb can be delivered. So Pinard's is used for extended legs and Lossett's is used for extended arms. So please remember this. P for popliteal fossa is the clue. So answer for this is A, that is Lossett's maneuver. Technique of delivering the aftercoming head. Options are Burns-Marshall, forceps, Maurice-Smellie-Witt method and Lossett's method. Now guess the answer. As you know, for aftercoming head, we have 3 methods. Burns-Marshall is also possible. Forceps can also be applied to conduct safe delivery of the aftercoming head to avoid the chances of compression and sudden decompression, and Maurice-Smellie-Witt method is there. So except Lossett's, all are the correct answers. Lossett's is used for delivering the extended arms. Aftercoming head of breech will have difficulty in delivery in all the following conditions except hydrocephalus, placenta previa, incomplete dilatation of the cervix and extension of the head. Now let's take one by one. In hydrocephalus, the head is of bigger size. So once aftercoming head is coming, naturally this head is going to get stuck. So there would be difficulty. Incompletely dilated cervix will allow the soft tissue part will come out, but naturally the head will get stuck. So aftercoming head will get stuck if the cervix is incompletely dilated. Again, extension of the aftercoming head leads to larger diameters to come in roll, and that is why that will also lead to difficulty. So only the correct answer is placenta previa is a condition where there will not be difficulty for delivering the aftercoming head. If it is major type of placenta previa, naturally will go for cesarean section. If it is lesser variety like type 1 anterior, it will not cause difficulty in delivering the aftercoming head. I hope you agree and you understand this. Cause of death in breech delivery. We know the morbidity is increased in aftercoming head. There can be, I have already elaborated, now let's see the options. Intracranial hemorrhage, aspiration, atlantoaxial dislocation and asphyxia. Now the correct answers are all three which are there, like there can be intracranial hemorrhage because of compression and sudden decompression. Even the compression is very sudden. There can be aspiration because of premature efforts taken by the baby to breathe, and there can be atlantoaxial dislocation. True about frank breech is thigh extended, knee extended, thigh flexed, knee extended, both flexed and Buddha attitude. Now you know that thigh extended means that would go for either knee or footling presentation, but in knee extended that position doesn't exist. Thigh flexed and knee extended, that is the extended breech, and that's why 2 is the option. Both flexed means thigh and knee both flexed, that will cause complete breech, that will not lead to frank breech presentation. So answer is the second option. Breech with hydrocephalus is managed by, options are cesarean section, transabdominal decompression, per vaginum decompression of the head, and craniotomy of aftercoming head. Now yes, in breech, if the hydrocephalus is there, then we can go for cesarean section because there would be difficulty in delivering the aftercoming head. So cesarean section in modern obstetrics is accepted, and hydrocephalus all the time is not a condition where baby cannot be survived. So if there is mild hydrocephalus, baby has good prognosis, we need not consider, we should consider cesarean section as an option to deliver such a baby. If there is severe hydrocephalus where the brain matter is really compressed, then we can go for transabdominal decompensation or per vaginal decompression of the baby's head. And if the specialist is well versed with the destructive surgeries or destructive operations, then we can go for craniotomy of the aftercoming head. Now let's move ahead with for the transverse lie, or in other words it is also called as shoulder presentation. Presenting part is shoulder along with few ribs, some portion of the humerus. Usually the diagnosis is because the baby is now placed transversely. They both are perpendicular. The longitudinal axis of the uterus and longitudinal axis of the fetal ovoid, they are perpendicular to each other. Naturally, because of that, the uterine height will not correspond with the gestational age. The height will be less than the gestational age. Fundal grip will be negative because there is no fetal part felt. Even pelvic grip will be negative. On one side, on lateral grip, you will feel the head. On the other side, the breech. Fetal heart would be around the umbilicus, central in position. And on PV examination, you will feel the shoulder. There are many ways again to deliver. There can be spontaneous rectification, means as the contraction starts, baby can suddenly change to vertex presentation, cephalic, that is spontaneous rectification. Or there can be spontaneous version, that means baby will change to breech presentation, and in this case we will deliver them accordingly. There can be spontaneous expulsion, means in transverse lie, if the baby is small or sometimes in IOD, macerated fetus or preterm, double up fashion, the babies both the sides get doubled up and baby gets expelled spontaneously. Or spontaneous evolution, in which first the breech will get delivered, then the body and then the head. So these would be the favorable termination. Unfavorable terminations, what happen? There can be uncomplicated shoulder, means shoulder presentation is there, but when mother comes to us, she is fine, baby is well, membranes are intact, she is either in labor, early labor, or she is not in labor. If she is not in labor, then we can try external cephalic version if the Leica is adequate. And I want to stress this point, if there are no contraindications for external cephalic version, then we can try that and then let her go in labor if it is cephalic presentation. Otherwise, if the patient is fine, shoulder presentation, cesarean section is the best option. Uncomplicated shoulder presentation, diagnosed and patient is directly taken for cesarean section. External cephalic if you are well versed and if there are no contraindications for that. Second, impacted shoulder, membranes ruptured, shoulder has just entered into the pelvis. There is no associated cord prolapse, maybe it's still fine. Still the treatment of choice is cesarean section. No manipulations, nothing is required. Directly take the patient for cesarean section and safe delivery of the baby is indicated. Neglected shoulder or obstructed labor, where either the hand gets prolapsed along with cord prolapse or without cord prolapse. Most of the time if there is cord prolapse, baby is dead, shoulder is deep in the pelvis, hand is prolapsed outside, bandal ring formation, patient is in ketoacidosis, dehydrated, sepsis is along with this. This is a presentation called as neglected shoulder or obstructed labor. In this case, even though the baby is dead, cesarean section is the ideal treatment which decreases maternal morbidity. Destructive surgeries or destructive operations are mentioned in your book, but modern obstetrics cesarean section is the best treatment even though the baby is dead. MCQs. 38 weeks primary in early labor with transverse lie. Options are internal podalic version, cesarean section, forceps, wait and watch. Now let's see internal podalic version. We have seen that if the patient is not in labor, at term, Leica adequate, transverse lie, I told you that we can try external cephalic version. But here external cephalic version option is not there. Internal podalic version, in modern obstetrics, the only indication for internal podalic version is second baby of twins in transverse position or in transverse lie. In that case only we are going to try. Otherwise this patient primary gravida, 38 weeks, not in labor or early labor, transverse lie, no way we are going to go. So first option is not there. Forceps, no role. Wait and watch cannot be done because now she is transverse lie in early labor. If we wait and watch, then what will happen? Either there would be cord prolapse or neglected shoulder if we keep waiting. So the ideal answer is cesarean section to be performed on her. 30-year-old multigravida with transverse lie with hand prolapse in second stage of labor with dead fetus. Typical neglected shoulder presentation. Cervix fully dilated, shoulder is out, baby is dead because of cord prolapse. It's obstructed labor. She is multi. Now options are LSES, craniotomy, decapacitation and clidotomy. And the right answer is LSES. If you have to choose only one option, then LSES is the best option. Craniotomy cannot be done because that will not solve the problem, the destructive surgery. Clidotomy, decapitation can also be second option, but I would go in favor of LSES because that is the safest option. That decreases chances of rupture uterus as well as decreases the morbidity of the patient, which is associated with destructive surgeries. Complication that can occur with IVP, that is internal podalic version for transverse lie. Options are uterine rupture, uterine atony, cervical laceration or vaginal laceration. The correct answer is uterine rupture. It is well known that if we try internal podalic version, uterus can get ruptured. Uterine atony is not possible at all. Cervical lacerations will not take place because we are manipulating the baby inside the uterine cavity. There is no chance that cervix will get traumatized. Even vaginal lacerations doesn't cause any sense. So the correct answer is uterine rupture. Let's move ahead for the next malpresentation or other malposition, that is face. In face, attitude is complete extension. Face is in complete extension. Denominator is mentum. Engaging diameter is either submento-bregmatic or submento-vertical. Position common is mento-anterior and or mento-posterior. Usually in occipito-posterior position, the favorable is right occipito-posterior. Attitude is deflection. So if this deflection continues and becomes extension, then there is formation of face presentation. So again, this is type of mal presentation where the presenting part is abnormal, position is still cephalic. Now here, labor is possible in mento-anterior position. Mentum is the denominator. Commonest position is left mento-anterior. Engaging diameter 9.5, submento-bregmatic. Mentum touches the levator ani and gets rotated anteriorly towards the pubic symphysis, and then it hinges below the pubic symphysis and delivery takes place by flexion. Flexion of the head will cause delivery of gradually all this way in this sequence. For the diagnosis, PV examination is the best thing, which tells us where we feel this triangular portion, 2 malar eminences and 1 opening. Per abdominally, we can feel a groove between head and back, limbs felt on either side of the midline. Fetal heart is heard on the opposite side of the back, and PV, classically the face is felt. Usually when membranes are gone, there would be edema and baby's face will also get little laceration. Mechanism of labor, as I said, it's possible only in mento-anterior. Management, episiotomy, a good episiotomy suffices, and reverse perineal support is important because the delivery of head is taking place with flexion here. In mento-posterior, delivery is not possible because if the mentum is posteriorly and try to travel down, the posterior aspect, the sacral promontory is 7 cm. So to travel that much distance, the neck will go in, and in that case, the diameter, the engaging diameter would be sterno or bregmatico-sternoid, and that is 18 cm. So no pelvis has a capacity to develop or to allow 18 cm to pass through it. So there is no mechanism of labor in mento-posterior. If it gets anteriorly rotated, well and good, otherwise cesarean section is the treatment. MCQ, which of the following favor face presentation? Options are anencephaly, prematurity, hydramnios, contracted pelvis, thyroid swelling and placenta previa. Anencephaly is most commonly associated with face presentation. Again, you know that because of extension it is face presentation. So anything which avoids the baby's head to get flexed, so any mass here which is not allowing the flexion will lead to extension and thus to face presentation. So thyroid swelling, bronchocele, many loops of cord around fetal head, these all are the reasons for face presentation. So now the correct answer is anencephaly. Prematurity won't be because that will lead to prematurity. Breech presentation is common. Hydramnios will also not give rise to face presentation. So contracted pelvis, thyroid swelling and anencephaly are the right options. Diameter of engagement in face, there are 2 because the options are mento-vertical. Mento-vertical cannot be, that is 14 cm in brow. Other 2 options are submento-bregmatic and submento-vertical. And the fourth is suboccipito-vertical, which is not actually in use. So second and third, that is submento-bregmatic and submento-vertical, are the right answer. Now coming to the last portion, that is brow. In brow, the attitude is little less extension than face presentation. Position is either anterior brow or posterior brow. Engaging diameter is mento-vertical, the largest one, that is 14 cm. And as you know, pelvis has only 11, 12 and 13 as diameters. So 14 cannot come out of these lesser diameters. So there is no mechanism of labor in brow presentation. How will you diagnose brow? Per abdominally it will be same as face. When you do PV examination, at that time, if you are feeling the anterior fontanelle very easily along with supraorbital ridges, if this portion is felt, then it is brow. As there is no mechanism of labor in brow in full-term baby, treatment is cesarean section. You are not supposed to waste any time and deliver the baby by cesarean section. Only in case if the baby is preterm very small, then phase kind of delivery or that kind of mechanism of labor can take place in brow, but that's only when the baby is very small. MCQ, diameter of engagement in brow is options: occipitofrontal, submentovertical, mentovertical or suboccipitofrontal. Occipitofrontal and suboccipitofrontal, they are not, because they are usually a little deflex head, so are in OP position seen. Submentovertical is seen in phase, so the right answer is mentovertical. So this is how we finish this topic, and I'm sure you will get a lot of help by solving these MCQs. Thank you.